Hello, everyone. My name is Eduardo Ruiz. I used to be, until 15 days ago, the legal chief of staff and deputy general counsel at Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. And I say until 15 days ago because I recently moved to a different job within the same organization. So anyway, I was in that role for around 4 years, and for more than 22 years in the company, most of the time based in Europe, with a few years also in Brazil. Very happy to be here with all of you today. And what I intend to do in the next 7 minutes is to give you an overview of the innovation journey that the legal organization at Hewlett-Packard Enterprise has gone through over the last few years. When our general counsel joined the company and took over as general counsel around 8 years ago, he placed a big emphasis in the use of technology to optimize our resources and the way we deliver business value. At that time, the legal organization was run pretty much like any other legal organization in those days, which is with an absolute lack of instrumentation. So much so that getting even the most basic information, like understanding how many deals the legal team had been working on in a given quarter, or how much money we were spending on a certain litigation matter, was frequently a real challenge, as hard to believe as it is. So at first, a very significant effort was put on deploying the right set of tools, from e-billing to contract lifecycle management to litigation case management and so on and so forth, for us to get the necessary insights, but also to allow us to start running the organization as a business and also to start making data-driven decisions. Our people initially resisted, but soon realized that by having those tools, they were able to do things they couldn't do before. Like, for instance, when an unsatisfied sales rep or at a business review, someone complained about how long a certain negotiation had taken, they could show to them hard data showing that out of the, 60 days that the entire negotiation took end to end, maybe 22 or 23 days, the agreement had actually been sitting at the sales rep desk without him or her doing anything about that. Or it also gave us the opportunity to be much more disciplined and predictable in the way we managed our budget. So we started to meet our budget at a 99+% rate, quarter after quarter after quarter, and now for more than 35 consecutive quarters, which was great. Number one, not to leave any money on the table, but secondly, and even more importantly, to build goodwill and credibility at the executive suite level. So after a few years, we were in a place where we felt we had the right set of tools and insights that we needed to run the organization the way we thought should be run, but those tools still provided fragmented views. In short, they didn't talk to each other, so we were still lacking that enterprise view of the law department activities. Also, we knew what we were doing, how many deals we were supporting at a given point in time, how quickly we were turning them around, or how many litigation cases we were handling. But what we did not know was how much time we spent on each of those activities. So we had no clue as to at what cost we were doing what we were doing. So a big step in this journey was the adoption of a department-wide time recording tool to analyze, which was actually a turning point in our ability to optimize our allocation of resources and time. We also introduced at that time a best-in-class business intelligence tool to analyze the data from time recording, but also the data from the other tools that we were already using at that time. And by this ability to combine the information from time recording and the information from many other multiple systems, we came to a completely different place in terms of our ability to identify and act upon opportunities for increased efficiency and productivity. It also allowed us to look differently to key things like talent management or vendor selection and management, just to name a couple of them. Just to give an example, until time recording, as I said, we knew at any point in time how many deals we were supporting, what were the provisions that we were negotiating most frequently, or how long it took to turn those contracts around. And all of that is important, but since we did not know how much time we spent on each of those things, we had to play by ear. For instance, when assessing how much of our time was spent on small, low-risk deals versus large, high-complexity, high-risk deals. Today, we know exactly how much time we spend on any given type of contract, whether we cut the data by geography, by contract value, by product line, you name it. we know how much time we spend on each phase of the contracting life cycle for those contracts. And we can break that information down to the individual contract level. And then if we overlay on top of that the information on sales, on comp and benefits of the people working on those contracts, we know exactly at what cost we do everything we do. This has changed completely the conversation with the business, because now we are in a position to show to them, here is what we do on the contractual front or otherwise, here is how much time we spend on everything we do, and here is at what cost we do what we do, or if you like, at what effective hourly rate we do things, pretty much like any other, like any outside counsel can do. And by the way, we can now compare ourselves to outside counsels in terms of efficiency and cost when discussing or considering opportunities to outsource or insource any given activity. So all of this really paid off big time when the company went a couple of years ago through a major initiative called HP Next, which was essentially a re-architecting of the entire company. As part of that project, the support functions like legal or finance or HR were asked to work with consultants, the McKinsey's and PwC's of the world, for those consultants to come up with recommendations to the executive team about opportunities for further efficiency and productivity. In other words, how we could do more with less. Well, the fact is that after these guys came over and they learned how thoroughly we were tracking our information and how on top we were of additional opportunities for productivity or efficiency, the only recommendation they could come up with was, you guys should look into ways to commercialize your processes, because there is some extra money for you guys to make for the company by doing so. And that's exactly what we're trying to do as we speak. So that's all I guess. So thank you very much.